She's always worried about things like that. She says, and of course, it's strange. She says, baby, it's baby, I must be lonely. She says, baby, well, I can't help but stare at it all sometimes. So there's no wash away, I believe that. She got a little bit of something that got better than nothing else. With the color portrait world, she believes she's got it all.
What's up?
She almost sleeps when I'm she screams, and I'm gonna say a scream. She says, baby, I must be lonely. Yeah, she says, baby, well, I can't help but stare at it all sometimes. So there's no wash away, I believe.
What's up, Dustin? CS, how we doing? The agenda today, this is the first live feed. How's the sound? Let me know. Let me know how the... Three Peasy, what's up? The agenda today is going to be Grenada Lake, what I've done, a little bit of update, what's coming up on in 2020, and got a little surprise for you guys at the end here. What's up, Brad? We're getting some people in here. It's cool. I like it. This is a first live feed, folks. I hope you like the atmosphere. This is the round table. If you haven't been to the round table, you haven't seen the round table, you can check some of the videos that I've done. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. Sounds good. Love it. I brought the trusty microphone out, guys, because a lot of times I see these live feeds and the sound is kind of wild. What's up, Robert? So we're going to talk a little bit about everything. There's a little bit about anything you want to talk about. If you ask some questions, I'll answer the best way I can. That's all I can do. So looking to see if the live feed is the thing for me. So I'll let some more people get in here, then we'll start. Enid. All right. Brad Evans is headed to Enid. It's one of the lakes I want to really fish, man. That and Sardis. I get distracted by Grenada a lot, and I pass those lakes up. But my buddy Taylor from Thump Therapy has really sold me on the idea of going to those lakes. So definitely going to do it. The round table, folks. You can see my Blackberry Smoke guy right here. I'm a big fan of their band. I try to see them twice, 3 times a year. So big fish at Enid. I know. I hear the big fish actually come out of Sardis and Enid, to be quite honest with you. That's what I've always heard. I just can't get myself past going to Grenada. So Cedar Creek in Alabama, Doug? I've never heard of it, but man, I bet you there's some big fish there. All right, so we're about 5 minutes in, so I'm gonna kind of get started. I don't know if, can you guys tell me this? Can you hear the music? I'm just curious if you can actually hear the music behind me. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. All right. So I wrote some notes. This is, you can hear the music? Good. You probably can't hear it that well now, I would assume. I turned it down quite a bit. All right. So this is my first live feed. And so I might make some mistakes. I'm trying the best I can. I want to see if this is something that I want to do on a weekly basis or however much. But I'm going to do the best I can, answer your questions. I'll probably miss some questions. I know that Marcus is coming over here. So if you watch some of the videos on YouTube, you see Marcus in the boat a lot. He's headed over here. So he's going to help out with some of the questions. But I'm going to see this if this is for us. If it is, great. We're going to continue doing it. And I appreciate all the support and all that great stuff. I wrote some notes because I didn't want to forget what I wanted to say. I want to thank my sponsors for helping me out this year. We have big plans for next year, folks. There's a lot of things that are gonna not necessarily change, but it's gonna get bigger. We're gonna do 10 tournaments next year, 7 on the main tours, a lot of ACT events. We are going to stick with the Crappie Masters at some level for sure. We love Grenada. So if you go to Grenada, there's a good chance we're going to fish that tournament. So a lot of the videos in 2020 are going to come from the tournament trail, just like they did this year. We started this year. We did maybe about 4 events, and that was fun. We loved it. We're going to continue that trend without a doubt. One of the Bear Creek lakes. So that's the plan. We're going to be doing a lot of tournaments. We're going to have new sponsors on board, and we're excited about all those different changes. I want to thank the subscribers. We're up to 8,000 subscribers. We're right there on the verge of getting there. And I suspect that either tonight or this weekend we'll actually get there. So I appreciate everybody's support, watching the videos, all that stuff. I know that there's some maybe not so good videos and some that are very interesting. And so I appreciate when you stick it out and you watch the ones maybe that aren't the best videos ever. CS wants to know about my guided trip. So actually tomorrow morning I have a guided trip. We're going to Kincaid. Guided trips have been fantastic, guys. If you want to get in the boat and you want to fish piles, that's my thing. I love spider rigging during tournaments, but that's not what I do on a daily basis. I fish piles, and I love probably the thing that's my biggest passion right now is finding new piles. So I could go to the traditional piles if I wanted to personally, but I love finding new piles. That's a big thing for me. You're going to see some videos that are coming up that I explain that, and I feel like I really project that that's what I'm in crappie fishing for right now. But when we do guided trips, I always pre-fish those lakes. We go out and we fish them, and we identify which piles are fishing good for crappie. And I think I posted one a couple of days ago with Gabe Montgomery, and we've caught a lot of bluegill, so we stay away from those piles. We catch crappie on these trips, let me tell you. And I love brush pile fishing. I'm a middle fisherman personally. I do jigs in the fall and in the spring, but I started guiding last year in the fall. So if you've been with me for a while, you know that it's not necessarily something I've done for a really long time. I can tell you that it's fun. I meet some really cool people and learn a lot of stories. So I will continue to do it. If you want to book in the fall, I appreciate you bringing that up, CS. Book 3poundfishing@gmail.com. That's the way to go. So fish Carlisle sometimes, Chip. The problem with, for me personally is I have to pass so many lakes to get to Carlisle, and it's a difficult thing for me to do. I know that if I'm going to compete in some of the events that are going to be around here locally, I have to go to Carlisle because a lot of events go to Carlisle. So I have to learn how to fish that lake. And personally, if you saw the Ohio River one that we just posted, you can still do good on lakes that you haven't fished a lot. I need to learn Carlisle. Big time. So that's a lake that has big events, and there are big fish there. So without a doubt, I'm going to go there. Yeah, unfortunately, you do have to pass good lakes, he says. So, all right. So other topics. So we're up 8,000 subscribers. I appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind, obviously share those videos, help a guy out. I appreciate it. That goes a long way. The topics today are going to be that LiveScope video that I just posted and side imaging. I want to talk about that. A lot of people are thinking, do I need side imaging if I have LiveScope? And the answer is yes, you do. You definitely need that. And then I also want to talk about the Grenada trip that we just got done doing. We spent 4 days there, and I'm going to wait till Marcus gets here to do that actually. And then the Grenada trip that's coming up. So we are going to be doing, like I said, a lot of events in 2020. And we're going to go pre-fish for the ACT event, I believe the middle of October. And then we're going to do the actual event. I think it's on the 25th or 26th of October. So that's exciting stuff. Getting to know Grenada a lot. So, and that's pretty cool. Without a doubt, a lot of people are commenting now about the LiveScope, I guess. And I could tell you LiveScope is exciting. So if you have questions about LiveScope, you can certainly throw them out at me, because I spent a lot of time on the guide trips actually doing a lot of electronic questions, SI, LiveScope, that type of thing. And, you know, LiveScope is a game changer. So I use the 1042 LiveScope screen. I believe personally, and I've said it on many videos, you need to buy the biggest screen you can possibly afford. I believe that's the 10-inch. I think that's the sweet spot. You can certainly go with the 1242 or whatever. I think it's 1242, 1042. And then, of course, there's the cheaper version of those, which is the 1022 and the 1222. Those are good screens as well. Those only can handle LiveScope, though. So, what are we going to talk about? All right. So I hope everybody is on the Facebook page and the Instagram page. I do a lot of posting on those pages on a daily basis. Every single day, you will see a post from 3 Pound Fishing on those pages. Facebook, Instagram. A lot of times you'll actually see maybe 2 or 3 posts. So the videos on YouTube are coming out twice a week. I think they're going to start coming out probably 3 times a week for the next 3 weeks. I've got a lot of videos built up. So spend some time over on Facebook. Like the Facebook page, like the Instagram page. Those pages have a lot of great information. Certainly a lot of those pictures you're seeing on Instagram and Facebook typically are from those days of fishing. And those videos are not going to be out on YouTube for maybe sometimes up to 3 to 4 weeks. So a lot of people that come fish with me, they're always confused as that, we just got done fishing. Where's the video? It doesn't happen like that. There's a lot of editing that goes into all these videos. And so I'll fish, and then I usually spend about 2 or 3 weeks before editing, not maybe just that video, but several videos. And that video doesn't make the lineup until 3 or 4 weeks. So we got a lot of CS. You're busy today, brother. I'm going to enlarge this screen. Again, guys, I'm learning, so this is going to be a rough run, so I apologize. I can actually make this screen bigger so you guys these questions aren't so small. Matt, what's up, brother? I'm just looking here. So, Zach, I'll tell you, hopefully Zach's asking about LiveScope, and you just got LiveScope, and there really isn't much tweaking that needs to be done with LiveScope. That's the amazing thing about it is even on guide trips, before I'd have to talk about the 2D imaging and what is a fish and what's not. Now during these guide trips, it's funny because we go up to a pile and they know immediately whether or not there's fish there or not. Before it was always a blob, it was always a squiggle line, and I had to say that was a fish. And sometimes I'd actually have to catch fish to prove that those are in fact fish. But with LiveScope, you run up and you know right away. Tweaking is not much of an issue on LiveScope. I always recommend to maximize your screen, maximize your depth. That means that if the pile is at 10 foot, your depth needs to be like at 12 foot so that you're maximizing the usage of that space on your screen. And so far, and also with your forward view, you want to make sure that that's perhaps at 20. That's what I use. I've explained that a lot of times. When I search in LiveScope, meaning I'm looking for piles, I'll go in 30 or 40. But when I fish a pile, I'm always fishing it in that 20-foot view. And that's the key for me, is always fishing in a 20. And most guys do, as far as I have seen. So let's talk about one of the topics I wanted to talk about, which is side imaging. A lot of people are asking the question, do I even need side imaging anymore? Absolutely, you need side imaging. You do. I don't have 360, but I think 360 would be very valuable as well. But I think side imaging is number one, because side imaging is when you're at your console, you're driving around, you're driving at 5 miles an hour, and you're actually locating structure. Once you throw out your buoy or you mark your spot, you can go up to that spot with 360, which is nice because you can identify where the fish are moving and you can identify exactly where that spot's at. But, you know, the question is really whether or not you need 360 or LiveScope. And LiveScope, honestly, in my opinion, can do what 360 does. I can go to a pile, I can sit back 25, 30 feet, and I can scan, and I can see exactly where those fish are at. And if they disappear, I can zoom out again, and I can see if those fish have moved off that pile and where they've moved exactly. So do I still like 360? Yes. I think that if you have the money, you probably could get it as well. I don't have 360, but I think that side imaging is critical, because if you don't know where piles are at, you can find them very quickly. And then you come up there with that LiveScope, and I'll tell you what, it's amazing, because you'll find that pile, but then you might find another pile, and you might find something that's also attracting fish. And we do it time and time again, me and Wade and Marcus and whoever else I'm fishing with. So the video that I just put out was about the combination of side imaging and LiveScope. So do me a favor, check it out. I do that on a daily basis now, because like I said, that's what it kind of excites me. I like finding new piles. I can go out to Egypt crab and a lot of these lakes, Kincaid even, and I can go to those regular spots. And I do during the guide trips. I definitely go to the spots that I know. But man, I like finding new stuff, and you do that with side imaging. So if you don't personally have a lot of spots, I think it's something that you should definitely have. Side imaging, then LiveScope. LiveScopes. Can you catch fish with 2D? Absolutely. I did it for 10 years, folks. I did it for 10 years. 2D. And Marcus he'll come here and he'll complain about how his fishing went today. I guarantee he'll talk about how his fishing went today. He fishes with 2D, and it's painful for him. He got it. He's been in my boat several times now with LiveScope, and he knows the difference. And today he caught, I think he caught 2 fish. And he called and he was complaining. And I don't know if that's because of 2D, but you feel like you're missing something if you don't have the LiveScope. So anyway, enough about that. So I'm going to talk about Grenada, but I also want to talk about this first real quick. On Sunday, I'm going to do a giveaway with Jenko Fishing. Jenko Fishing is an awesome partner. I can't say enough good things about them, man. I can't say enough good things about them. But I'm going to give $100 gift certificate away. That means you can buy whatever you want to buy at Jenko Fishing, and that giveaway is going to start on Sunday, and you're going to see videos on YouTube, videos on Facebook, videos on Instagram. I'm going to, for a whole week, and it's going to be shared with Jenko Fishing. They're going to be a big part of it. This is an example of what $100 worth of Jenko baits look like if you wanted to go plastics, if you want to go with the slasher heads, or if you wanted to, if you want to get the big Jenko net. Have you guys seen the Jenko net? The Jenko net is rock. It's the best net ever. You can put that towards whatever you want to put down. I got some slasher heads here too, right? I am right there. There's a lot of slasher heads here around. Fantastic heads, high quality. The baits are, let me just tell you, there's something about, let me show you, I'm going to show you my favorite color. The whatchamacallit right here. That's the whatchamacallit. That's an old bag. Here's a new bag. This is the tickle fry. This is my favorite bait right here. And the favorite color is the whatchamacallit color right there. This is a mermaid. These are incredible, but $100 gift certificate. I'm going to have a giveaway on Sunday, and it's going to last a week. Folks, it's going to be awesome. You're going to be able to use that $100 on whatever you want to use it on, whether it's a Jenko net, a Jenko pole, bait, jig heads, you name it. Doesn't matter. Those guys are on board with whatever, and they're going to support the giveaway, and I really do appreciate it. So that's a little, I'll say that again at the end of the video, because that's going to be a big deal next week. We're going to see a lot of videos on that. I'm going to try to catch up on some of these comments. That's why I need Marcus here. So let's talk about Grenada. How many people have been to Grenada? That, right now that lake is really excited. Me and Wade, we had a great time last year on Grenada. Big lake. This year we went with Tyler and Mylan, also known as Woody from Thump Therapy. Those guys are great. Check them out. I don't mind giving them a shout out because I just think they're good dudes, for sure. And Grenada is just a fantastic and a cool lake. And I like the surroundings, and I like the town, actually. I think the food options and everything else that you can do at Grenada is really nice and accommodating. But I'll tell you what, we were out there and we were fishing 12 foot deep in some, I won't say it was the dirtiest water I've ever fished in. For sure, in the springtime, that water's dirtier. Fish were at 12 foot and they were everywhere. And we had a great time. Well, Marcus just rolled it. We had a great time and we caught some major slabs. What's interesting is that we have the tournament coming up in, well, we're going to pre-fish it 12th, 13th. I think that's around the date we're going to be down there. But the tournament. So do you know anything about that drawdown at Grenada? I would love to hear about it because I hear they lose up to fishing the exact same amount. We spider rigged. I'm a high believer in high vis line. Oh, so Marcus just rolled up. Come on around, brother. So I wonder if we can get this. He brought his. Is this the big fish you caught this year?
Yeah.
Come here. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm gonna give you this here. I'm gonna sit here. You're gonna sit here. Wow.
Been wanting to show it to you for a while. It shrunk a little in the freezer, but.
All right. So everybody knows Marcus. Marcus is. Come on in. Come on in. Marcus is on a lot of the videos, so check that out.
It's a beauty.
Huh? What is it? 17?
Yeah, I think it measures 16 right now, but it was over 17 when I caught
Wow. So he didn't have a scale, I guess, and so he didn't actually physically weigh it, but we got the distance on it, or the measurement on it, lengthwise. So that's awesome, right there. You want me to put in the freezer for you?
Yeah,
okay.
that'd be great.
Tell the fine folks at home about your day to day on Little Grassy. I told them a little bit about LiveScope and stuff.
It's very slow. I think I got 4 crappie all day. No bass. I'm taking minnows next time. The jigs aren't getting it done.
How'd you feel about fishing with 2D versus LiveScope?
That's a big difference. I mean, I knew there was fish down there. I mean, from LiveScope, so I just couldn't get them to bite.
Did you feel like you were picking them up on 2D? You could see them? I mean,
well, mine shows fish. I mean, you don't actually know, but usually when I get a big school, I get bites. Usually bluegill, but
yeah.
I mean,
what was the depth?
I was fishing 11 to 12. I tried different depths, didn't have any luck.
So a lot of things about Southern Illinois, there's just a ton of lakes. So, my Carlisle friend, you've got Wren Lake, you got the big lakes, Wren Lake, Egypt, Crab, Kincaid, but you also have the smaller lakes. And we really like fishing the smaller lakes, and that would be Cedar, Grassy, Devil's Kitchen. I'm missing. Mermed is actually a great bluegill lake. And so Southern Illinois just has a great option in terms of fishing. So it's for crappie. It's great with LiveScope because we get to re-experience the lakes every time. We fish these lakes for years, and you go back with LiveScope, and it's an eye opener. So
I always pick the wrong lake.
Is that it? I guess. So I made some some notes here. All right, so I pretty much covered all the topics, folks, that I wanted to talk about. Next upgrades to the boat. I think I've had a couple comments. I wanted to touch on those a little bit. There's a lot of questions right now in terms of the trolling motors that are out there. I love my Ultrex, but this new Garmin, I believe it's called the Ghost. I think Wade's even seriously considering getting that. I'm going to let some people get it and get some reviews and some thoughts on it. But to have Bluetooth capability, not have the big cable steering, I think that's huge. To be able to switch from a 24 volt to a 36 volt, that's nice. So that's definitely a consideration. I'm also considering switching a lot of the Helix units out there for Garmin. Garmin's customer service, I had some issues with LiveScope, no joke, and they handled it with flying colors. I'll be honest with everybody right now. I've replaced the black box, the module, and the transducer, and all the cables, and they never had a question about it, which I think was incredible. And not only that, but they knew what they were talking about, folks. They would go get a unit from anywhere, somewhere in the store, and they would like turn it on, and they'd say, "Are you seeing this? Are you seeing that?" They knew what they were talking about. I was very impressed. And I know that they said, "Matt, you have till April to figure this problem out, and we're going to keep shipping you stuff until we figure it out." So I actually did a whole video on the situation, and somehow it got lost, and it was very disappointing because I wanted to share that with everybody. But let me tell you, if you do buy a LiveScope, if you do go with Garmin, their customer service is unbelievable. Thanks, Junkyard. I appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it. That means a lot. So, what other things with my boat? Oh, there's going to be a wrap going on the boat, which I know is not important, but yeah, we're gonna this boat. I thought about doing it with my last boat, and this boat is going to go through a transformation. You're going to see it. It should happen in the next 3 months, I'm guessing. I don't know how long those things last, but we're going to turn it into a tournament fishing vessel for sure for 3-pound fishing, and that's exciting. So I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, when they're out there at Egypt, they're gonna know exactly. Boom, there you are.
Yeah.
But I also want to introduce. You're going to be guiding on the smaller lakes.
Hopefully someday.
Someday we play with the idea of doing a guide trip on a Jumbo with a 9.9. So who knows if that ever comes.
I got to get a little better for that.
We need to get LiveScope in his John boat. So let's see if anybody knows anybody with sponsors. Obviously we're always looking for sponsors at 3-Pound Fishing for the tournaments. In particular, we're looking for a dealership, a car dealership of some sort. We'd love to be able to bring a nice new vehicle down to these events and help support us that way. So, questions? Anybody got questions? No questions. So, hey, we've been on there. I've been on here for almost 30 minutes. I tell you, I do appreciate it. Let me just remind you again of the giveaway. So anybody that's new, we're going to do a $100 gift certificate from Jenko Fishing. Great company. Check them out at jenkofishing.com. Start picking out your stuff if you plan on winning. This is $100. This is just an example of what $100 worth of plastics looks like from Jenko Fishing. Okay, that's going to last a long time. And again, he's going to take it home. You can use that $100 for whatever you want, but I'm just giving you an example of what the plastics are. And you're going to get to choose your colors and all that good stuff. Initially, what I thought was, man, we'll just ship them $100 worth of baits. But Jenko Fishing was so nice. We're like, no, let's just give them a $100 gift certificate. They can get whatever they want. So if you want to get, slasher heads, again, I'll show them to you again. Slasher heads or whatever. They got all the different colors, different sizes. You go for it. Just a great company. Check them out. If you want to get a fishing pole, get a fishing pole. You want to get that awesome net, get the awesome net. The net is unbelievable.
I haven't seen the net yet.
You haven't seen it? Go check it out. It's in the boat. Bring it over here. I think it's tied down one thing. The Jenko net is so light. I try to point it out a lot of my videos because you can manage it with one hand. And it's just like, and it falls down and it's easy. Now, we had the deep, would you just call it a deep net, I guess? This is the plastic. It's shallow and rubber. And you don't get tangled up in this one right here. The other one was we were having some struggles with a little bit. So I recommend that particular style net for crappie fishing. But it's light, 12 foot.
I got to get used to handling that.
So
Net boy.
hardly. Marcus puts a lot of big fish in the boat, which is cool. So, so we're going to do this again. Let's see. Go. So yeah, Jamie, we're going to fish a lot of ACTs next year. In fact, we're going to Grenada here in October. Me and Wade are. But next year we're planning on doing all of them except for the Louisiana one. I think is the only one that we're not going to do. You bought that net, huh? Yeah, that net is awesome, CS. So anyway, hey, I appreciate it, guys. Check out 3poundfishing.com if you want some gear. This is just one of the hats. I didn't know if I'd wear one or not, but there's one. shirts, all that good stuff. I really do appreciate you. Subscribers are up to 8,000. Check out the latest video, and regardless, we'll be back. We're gonna keep doing this. This was a lot. It's a lot of fun. So, peace.